Welcome to my channel. As a layperson, I like to share my understanding of Scripture. Today I'm looking at the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verses 1 and 2, and Luke, chapter 4, verses 18 and 19. And I've entitled it, The Good News and the Favorable Year of the Lord, or YHVH. Now, in the book of Luke, chapter 4, verses 18 and 19, YESHUA is reading from the book of Isaiah. He's reading, The Spirit of YHVH is on me, because he anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set free those who are downtrodden, to proclaim the favorable year of YHVH. The favorable year of YHVH is sometimes rendered as the acceptable year of YHVH is in the fact the year of Jubilee. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 10, we read, The release of the prisoners and the land returned to the rightful owners. The preaching of the gospel and the proclaiming of the favorable year of YHVH is really saying that they are the same. The gospel preached today should be the same gospel as preached to Israel in the wilderness. It's about setting people free and returning the land to the rightful owner. The year of YHVH's favor is another way of saying the year of YHVH's grace. The slaves in Egypt were set free because they found favor, which in understanding is really grace. They received grace from YHVH in the 50th Jubilee, which was the Jubilee of Jubilees, or 2,500 years from creation. The Israelites, they left Egypt on a Jubilee year and wandered in the wilderness for 40 years before entering the land. They could have entered the land in a few days, except they were disobedient. They didn't enter the land on a Jubilee year, and they trusted YHVH, their deliverer, that they would enter the land the same Jubilee year. When YESHUA read Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1 and 2, he was proclaiming that this was a Jubilee year and that the prisoners would be set free from being slaves to sin. This, of course, was the year of the crucifixion and resurrection. He would pay the debt so their debt would be forgiven. Debt forgiveness is part of the year of Jubilee. Just as in Egypt, they had to choose if they wanted to remain slaves or be set free. That is our option today. Do we want to remain slaves to sin, which is disobedience to his law, or do we want to be set free because his law is called the law of liberty? It was the 80th Jubilee when YESHUA paid our debt. And just as Israel wandered in the wilderness for 40 years before entering the land, those that were freed from being slaves to sin would enter the land 40 Jubilee years later, which in Jubilee years is 2,000 years. So from his crucifixion and resurrection and ascension, there would be 2,000 years before his return. But they would both be freed, have their debt forgiven, and enter the land on a year of Jubilee, which is not what they had done the first time. The first time was just 40 years after the Jubilee years, but 40 Jubilee years is 2,000 years. So that would mean that they would be freed from slave to sin, plus they would enter the land, the promised land, in the year of Jubilee, just as required by the law of Jubilee. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you heard, share with someone. If not, share with everyone.